Mike Malone is still very much a Brooklyn kid with that hard edge and that attitude. And you just fired him right before the playoffs started. So I'm assuming he's going to feel some kind of way about it. And if you put him in front of a microphone, he's not going to be shy about saying it. What did you think about Malone hopping on the broadcast?
Well, first off, all of you that are listening right now, you Denver Nuggets faithful, you're not the best fan base in the NBA, according to the coach
Malone.
that was here for, what, a decade, near a decade?
Yeah, it was 10 years. It was 10 years, man.
A decade. You are nowhere near the best.
No, that's Oklahoma City, man. By a mile.
I'm gonna say this. I've been fired 3 times as a college football coach.
Which was the worst?
Some I guess 2 of them one of them I got fired as a head coach at Western Kentucky.
Which one hurts you the most? Like, I'm assuming Malone is
Minnesota.
hurt. Oh, really?
University of Minnesota. And it reminds me a little bit of what happened with Michael Malone in the sense that you didn't necessarily get fired after having a terrible year.
Right.
The year they got fired, we won 9 games. At a Big Ten, I wouldn't call them a cellar dweller, but they're a middle of the road to bottom of the road in terms of expectations in the Big Ten Conference. We won 9 games, beat Wisconsin. I get fired the next day. And I got fired because they brought in the previous offense coordinator who had left, and he got fired at Penn State. So they brought him right back. I'm just going to lay it out there for everybody. You get fired from a franchise, especially if you think that there was a path forward for you to either find the solution or get better the next year. You are bitter. Michael Malone is bitter.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And I would say 100% pure, unadulterated, in my opinion, justified.
Yeah.
He should be bitter.
Really? You think it's just...
He won the first title 2 years ago, Berto.
I know.
He should be bitter. Now, hold on.
All right, go ahead.
Let me get on my soapbox here, brother.
All right.
As a coach, you got a choice. What do you do with that bitterness? Do you have internal pettiness that you just kind of carry with you? Or do you go public with it? What Michael Malone did last night, which many coaches do not do, because there's a bit of an unwritten rule in coaching that you don't do it. He chose violence last night. He chose violence. There were 2 shots that, if anyone wants to justify what he said and say, oh, it's just because Shea's going to be the MVP, that's why he said that. No.
Yeah, I don't believe that either.
My take on the situation, having been there, is that Nikola Jokic, in his eyes, was complicit in his firing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm not saying that he made the decision.
You're right. I hadn't thought about that. Maybe he's like, you know what? Damn it. I'd still have my job if the big fella backed me.
It probably is as simple as that. Nikola Jokic, I doubt it, went to management and said, I want Michael Malone fired. No chance.
Management came to Joker and they said, we're firing Coach Malone. And he was like, oh, okay.
It was, I need beer. I mean, there was probably not much either way, right? It wasn't. Now, Michael Malone's looking at like, hey, if Nikola Jokic wanted to stop this, he very easily could have stopped this.
Yeah, but that's the problem because Michael Malone could have stopped it. Michael Malone could have, he's the one. As a head coach, as somebody who believes in what you're doing is the reason why your team is winning. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And with Coach Malone, he's like, we're doing it my way because my way won us the whole damn title. And he would never back down. And if he just gave just a little bit, if he could come, if him and Calvin Booth could have come to Jesus and come together, he still would have had a head coach. He'd still be the head coach of this team. But because he was so stubborn, it was like, I'm going to do it my way. And because this is the way it's going to be, he's no longer the head coach. So it's like, he shouldn't be blaming anybody for him not having a job except for himself. Maybe Calvin.
Could it be argued that the pettiness between Michael Malone and Calvin Booth is the very reason he got fired?
Yes.
And yet
it's the reason for everything. It's the reason for the disconnect between the team and all. Yeah, I believe it. All of it can be down to one thing, and that's pettiness between 2 individuals, and that's Calvin Booth and Michael Malone.
And so ultimately it was the pettiness of Michael Malone that got at least him fired.
Yes.
Right?
And the same with Calvin, where he wouldn't back. Neither
could
one
be
would
the
back
pettiness
down.
of Calvin Booth got himself fired too.
Like, you got to make adjustments to this kind of thing, but neither one would back down.
But what
we
we saw last night is Michael Malone's very first public appearance.
Yeah.
Since being fired.
Yeah.
What did he do? He chose pettiness.
I wonder, I'm assuming he's sitting there thinking that the Nuggets would have been in the Western Conference Finals. So he was coach instead of Adelman. I'm assuming that's exactly what he thinks. I wonder in his heart of hearts when he's watching that Thunder Nugget series go 7, and he's watched, because he did give Adelman some love yesterday for Adelman breaking out that zone against OKC and stuff. So, but I would really like to know what he would have done. That's the question I want to ask Malone. What the hell would you have done different in that playoff run? What would you have done different if you were still a head coach of this team instead of David Adelman? What adjustments would you have made? That's what I want to know. Because, I mean, his pettiness and stubbornness got him got. Now, maybe he's perfectly fine with that. He made a lot of money and he won an NBA championship, and somebody else is going to give him a coaching job next year.
I'll tell you what, man, that's one thing about why coaches generally bite their tongue publicly and don't get petty is because guess who's evaluating your level of professionalism? Mm-hmm. The next potential employer.
Would you do that? Would you are you so set in your ways as a football coach that there's some things that no matter what a GM or another member of your staff tells you or talks to you about or tries to make adjustments with, you're like, nope, we are a running team, we're running them or whatever, something like that, where you will not budge on anything. Is there one thing like that? You
just have to do that on the front end when you go in your interview process to get hired.
Okay. Where you tell them, here's my line in the sand I won't cross. Don't make me cross it because I won't.
Because if you change the rules of engagement midstream, expect some pushback.
Right. Then And then at that point you're lying to your players because you're telling your players one thing and then they're coming up. Yeah, I don't know, man.